Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And where we find ourselves is near REV, and we're continuing on the BRONTÖ Homestead Trail. And this is the church here, the first church that the Reverend Patrick BRONTÖ preached in. Now, unfortunately, it's not open, so we can't get in. Very blowy today, so I hope you can hear me. But I'm going to try and read this out to you. And it says, former Drumballyrooney Church and School, and I'll show you the school. Patrick BRONTÖ, father of the famous BRONTÖ sisters, was born into a local farming family in 1777. He spent his early life in the area and taught in the nearby schoolhouse. Patrick later moved to England to further his education. He was ordained in 1806, and on an extended visit home after his ordination, he preached his first sermon in Drumballyrooney Church, that's here, before returning to England. And then it says you can easily follow the story of Patrick BRONTÖ and his family through the buildings that survive within the BRONTÖ homeland. And it says the BRONTÖ Homeland Drive starts here and is well signposted along a 7.3 mile route. So if you're living near the area, why don't you check this trail out. There's it there. And there's the man himself. That's the Reverend Patrick BRONTÖ, and he was born St. Paddy's Day 1777. He died on the 7th of June 1861, aged 84. And the painting is dated 1809. So this is the church, but unfortunately we can't get inside because it's locked up. But at least we can get into the grounds. I'll show you some of the countryside here. It's very blowy. That's the graveyard. Isn't that beautiful? And that's the school there, that white building. Hopefully the wind will die down when we get round this side here. And so Patrick BRONTÖ then was born in 1777, as the board said, and he died on the 7th of June 1861. And there's a bigger board there with the trail on. I don't know if I can see anything in here or not. Wee bit. And of course Patrick was an Irish Anglican minister, and he spent most of his adult life in England, and he was born near REV in County Down. Now this tree is significant because there's a connection with this tree and one of the BRONTÖ sisters. So it says here, Corsican, I think that is pine, grown from a seed of the tree planted by Charlotte BRONTÖ in Haworth, 1854, and that's BRONTÖ Society I, section 1990. So there you go. So that was grown from a tree that Charlotte BRONTÖ planted. There's a grave there. See if we can make a date on this. This is a reverend. Here left the body of Harriet Carston, wife of the Reverend Chris. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's Carston, who departed this life 11th day of November 1860. I think she was 87. That's either 87. I think it's 87. In her 87th year. And also the body of the Reverend Christophil, I think that is. Christophilus Carston, rector of Drum Ballyrooney. So he was the rector here of this church, who departed this life the 17th day of August 1864 in the 68th year of his age. So this is the minister here. Let's see if we can make this out. Again, that's the, I think it's the same Reverend, rector of Drum Ballyrooney. So there you are. So I think the windows died down a wee bit actually, which is good news for me. And you can see the window, and that's the school. And I'll show you inside the school, at least through the windows. So the family was very large and very poor. And if you remember in the other video, that's the family of Alice and Hugh Brontë, because Alice was a Roman Catholic and Hugh was a Protestant, and Alice's family weren't too well pleased of Alice keeping company with Hugh, because they wanted her to marry a Roman Catholic. And so they weren't too happy, because Hugh was not only poor, he was of a poor family, large family, but he was also a Protestant. And so they were none well too pleased. And of course, Alice herself was engaged to another gentleman who was a Roman Catholic. But nonetheless, she didn't marry him. She eloped with Hugh, and they got married. Believe it or believe it not, yes, they got married in the old church there at Macarelli, the old medieval church, in 1776. So quite amazing. Now I'm going to show you a grave here, and it's in the memory of the Brontes, and some of their relations are buried here. So it says, Brontë, in memory of loved ones, the Lord is my shepherd. And then it says there, Mary A. Cantley, née Brontë, died 20th of April 1984. So this is the school that you're looking at here. So I'm going to show you in through the windows of the school. As you can see, we need to just be careful that there's nobody looking out, keeping a watch. And you can see some implements there. So we just have to be careful that there's nobody looking out at us here, looking through their window. Oh, there's somebody looking out. So I'll take it around the other side and let you see in, and you'll see the rest of them. So this is the school, and then that's the church. So there you go, they're sitting in the schoolroom and she's looking out the window. There's the fireplace. Unfortunately it's not open. This is probably bringing back memories to some of you. And there's billboards as well in there with information on them. Very blowy up here today. I was struggling with my notes. So I'll give you another review of these dummies, if I can. They're brilliant, aren't they? Excellent. So, you're not in, but you're in, if you know what I mean. And there's one more wee thing I want to show you before we wrap this video up. So, Patrick then moved to England in 1802, having won a scholarship to study theology. And after he received his degree in 1806, he ministered with the Church of England. Patrick married Maria Branwell on the 29th of December 1812 in the Church of St. Oswald, and they had 6 children. And of course, Maria was the first. She was born 1814, died 1825, and Elizabeth 1815, died 1825. So both died at a young age due to disease. And then you have what's known as the famous BRONTE sisters. So there was Charlotte, she was born 1816, died 1855. And Emily, born 1818, died 1848. And then Anne, she was born 1820 and died 1849. And they're well-known poets and novelists. And Charlotte's Jane Eyre, of course, was a big success. So was Emily's Wuthering Heights, and then Anne's Agnes Grey, and they all appeared in 1847 in print. And of course, Wuthering Heights, it occasionally drew harsh criticism because of its outrageous violence and its immorality as well. And the only son then, Patrick Branwell Bronte, he was born 26th of June 1817, he died 24th of September 1848, and he was also a writer and painter. And he was the 4th of the 6 children born to the Reverend Patrick Bronte and his wife Maria Branwell Bronte. And all 6 children were born in the village of Thornton in West Yorkshire. And Patrick was an intelligent boy. He had many talents and interests in many subjects, including especially literature. And you can see, this is what I wanted to show you here. You can see the mountains, isn't that fantastic? That's the Mournes. What a beautiful backdrop. So you've got the school and the church, and the backdrop to that is these beautiful mountains. The Mournes near Newcastle in County Down. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, a YouTube friend of mine, Ponderings of an Irish Presbyterian, he's actually been up the Mournes and he's done a number of videos on them. So make sure you check out his wee channel on those videos. So we're almost finished. And I'm just going to show you this stone up here, and that's really us done. And so unfortunately Patrick Jr., he developed a drug and alcohol addiction, and he died of tuberculosis, aged just 31 years of age. And the Reverend Patrick Brontë Sr. was also a writer and author. And Patrick actually outlived both his wife and his 6 children, dying at the age of 84 in 1861. You can see the sign there, Brontë Homeland Drive, follow symbol. So I'd encourage you to come here and take in the beautiful scenery and the history here of the Brontës. Unfortunately, the school's not open and the church isn't open. It would be great if it was, but it's not. So this says townland of, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Aknavillog, and it means field of the swallows. So there you go. So I'll give you another review of the church and then we'll wrap this wee video up. And of course this is the first church that the Reverend Patrick Brontë preached in. So thanks for watching and God bless.